Hey, yep, it's Aegis, and welcome to my theory video on Pokémon Legends Arceus. Games like this always get my mind running with what-ifs, and I think I got a solid one for y'all today. That said, let's get into it. So Pokémon Legends Arceus is a game where you, the protagonist, are a field researcher for the Galaxy Expedition Team, where you go through the old Sinnoh region, currently known as Hisui, and gather data on various Pokemon and various aspects of said Pokemon, like evolutions, eating habits, habitats, all that. And with the main goal, presumably, of finding out more about the mythical god Pokemon Arceus. Yeah, you know Arceus, the creator of everything in the Pokemon universe. Most famously known in-game for his ability Multi-Type, which allows him to hold his various plates and change type because of it. And Arceus' plates are where my theory begins, specifically with the descriptions of the plates found in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Because in those games, when you would find the plates, you would get various descriptions, and once you found them all, after talking to a hiker in the Canalife Library, you'd be able to read them all. And my interest specifically lies with the second one, which reads, "The power of defeated giants infuses this plate." That is a point of interest for me, because from what I remember, they never really expanded on that. I've seen people theorize that it could be Eternatus, or the original dragon from Gen 5, but today I propose the idea that it was, drumroll, Regigigas and his titans. Here's the thing about Regigigas. We know pretty much nothing about him. The only thing that's ever been really said is that he towed continents and created the other three Regis, 5 if you count Sword and Shield. Now, here's something a lot of people don't seem to acknowledge about Regigigas, is that in the Pokemon universe, he is far stronger and more impactful than he is in the main series games. He's able to create life. He made the three Regis, 5, in his image, out of a special ice mountain, rocks, magma, pure electrical energy, and pure draconic energy. So, off the jump, that's pretty impressive for a Pokemon that doesn't seem very impressive. Like, how many legendary Pokemon do you know that created their own life? But I digress. Now, to Regigigas' origins. Something interesting to note is that one of his possible origins could be that of the Titanomachy from Greek mythology, because of his sealing in the Snowpoint Temple. An event in Greek mythology in which the gods fought the Titans, and, of course, the gods won, and I think you might be able to see where I'm going with this. So I propose that Regigigas made his Regis in an attempt to dethrone God Arceus. Maybe the Titanomachy origin is false? Maybe not. It's not going to stop me from having my theory, though. So I don't think I'd be remiss in calling Regigigas the god of Earth, especially if you relate it back to the Titanomachy theory, where Gaia, the goddess of Earth, bore children who were known as Titans. And what are the names of the legendary Regi trio? The legendary Titans. Although some things don't really tie together, like Gaia not being sealed away, but it's semantics. So the Earth itself is Regigigas' domain, and from what we've seen in, well, essentially the anime, he's very protective of the Earth. He's a very benevolent individual towards the Earth. So, what I want to say is he might be a little apprehensive to seeing a golden goat descend from the sky and claim to be God. And that's where our conflict lies. Now, how would the conflict begin? Perhaps Arceus is just doing a normal checkup on Earth, and Regigigas doesn't have that, so he tries to attack. Or maybe Arceus goes to Earth with the intent of fighting Regigigas, and perhaps he sees Gigas as a heretic, being revered, creating life. So hell, maybe even Arceus is the antagonist in this. While we don't know the entire details of Legends Arceus, perhaps your group, the Galactic Expedition Team, could come into contact with a Regigigas cult who want to revive him and take back the Earth. I don't know. That'd be pretty sick, though, I'm not gonna lie. So, the potential plot. One thing I have in mind is that because you're a field researcher, maybe as you go later into the game, you end up discovering these buried titans. who were tossed away by Arceus in a previous battle. And by accident, you end up reawakening them and setting them on a rampage. A rampage that only the original opponent of the Regis could stop. And then you have to climb Mount Coronet to the original location of the Spear Pillar, where you would summon Arceus to help take down the Regis. Or, the story could also go, like I brought up earlier about the Regigigas cult, that they are set on reawakening Regigigas in order to reclaim the land, the Earth, for themselves, in which you and the rest of the Galaxy Expedition team have to find a way to stop it, which ends up with you having to summon Arceus. But you're probably thinking, Regigigas with his slow start, how is he gonna stop God? I have an idea. Primal Regigigas and Primal Legendary Titans. Maybe through an item or items called something like the Earth Core, either found by your expedition or held by the Regigigas cult in order to revive Regigigas, could act in a similar manner to the red and blue orbs from Pokémon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and upon being held, Regigigas and the Titans would change into their primal forms, which I imagine would be bigger and bulkier. Maybe for the Titans, they could get extra types too, like as they were originally made. Regirock being given Rock Ground, Regice being given Ice Water, and Registeel being given Steel Fire. And maybe the Gen 8 Regis would get this too. Maybe Regidraco would be Dragon Fairy, and Regieleki would be Electric Flying? There's not much you can do with those guys. But Regigigas, he could end up as a normal fighting type. Because, you know, fighting types are based on strength, and Regigigas towed continents. And of course, extra base stats and a new ability to go with it. I imagine that he would get an extra 50 base stat points to match Arceus's 720, and I imagine it being spread out like an extra 20 in attack, an extra 20 in speed, and 5 to both defenses. With his already insane base stats and the removal of Slow Start, Primal Regigigas could end up being a real monster, even to someone like Arceus. But that brings me to another idea I had, in which Arceus would also get a power-up, namely in the form of an item called the Jewel of Life, referencing the Arceus anime movie. The Jewel of Life could be held by Arceus and give him, more base stats, but it could also introduce an ability called Omni-type. An ability I thought of that sort of acts like a reverse Protean, in which anytime an opponent would use a move against Arceus, he would change to a type that would resist the move, or completely negate it. And perhaps to counteract this, Primal Regigigas could have an ability where all of his moves become at least normal efficiency. And after the battle between these titans, I don't know how it would turn out. Maybe Regigigas would win, maybe Arceus would win. Probably Arceus, considering that he is the headlining character of the game. Some other things I want to bring up before wrapping up the video is, what exactly could the roles of Regieleki and Regidraco be? Because the more I think about it, the more odd it seems that 2 random Regis were added in Generation 8. It's interesting, and I feel like it could tie into Legends Arceus. But besides Regigigas, there are a lot of Sinnoh Legendaries that could have a role in Legends Arceus, and I kind of want to do videos about them. So if you guys would be interested, let me know in the comments below, along with some theories that you may have about the game. And with that all said, I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya!